Welcome back to another episode of What I Know About Yoshimitsu. With our special guest, Chat Room. Chat Room, say hi. So, today we're going to chat about Kin. Mostly Kin parry, and if I feel like it, I'll go over some Kin stance options as well. You're not funny. So, Kin parry is nice. It's sort of, it fills in certain frame situations that Flash does not for Yoshimitsu. And the reason why I say that is because the startup for Kin parry is I2 to I, and the window is from I2 to I9, rather than from I6 and onwards, right? And the nice thing about this, is should you get a proper parry off, you get a guaranteed CD1 into Oki if they tech, right? So it's 22, 17, that's 39 damage total, which is pretty nice for a parry. Guaranteed. And you can buffer CD crouch that's inputs as Yoshi, so it's not something you can fuck up unless you like get some wild CD input like that. Yeah. So that's ideally if you get the parry off and you get it to hit. On block, it's +4. Let's see if I can make this happen correctly. See if that'll work. Counter hit. Yeah, so it's +4. It's one of the very few situations that Yoshimitsu has a plus on block situation or scenario, and they're also forced crouch. So it's really similar to as if you hit 1-1, but no damage, of course. So you're +4, they're forced crouch, and you can basically go from there however you like. A solid option is down forward 1 or down forward 4 if you feel like they're gonna mash. If you know they're gonna mash, down forward 2, sides or backdash into forward 4. All that shit works. Now remembering that it's +4, some I10 stuff, like wall setting 1+2 from Yoshi, will still trade. Or will still beat out something like down forward 2. So if you really want to beat out everything that they could possibly do, aside from maybe like sidestep on a specific side, down forward 1 or down forward 4 are your best options. Plugged in stick on Raven, the first thing I see is How Masher. So, Kin parry. Now, here are like some common setups and like sort of ideal frame range you want to be in if you want to use a Kin parry, if it's not just raw like you're reading someone's timing, is you want to be around like -5, -6, -7 even, all this stuff, just because of how fast it starts up. And a real classic one, I think I mentioned it before in when we were talking about 3-brush 4, is this into Kin. I believe it's minus. Let's double check real quick so I got my facts straight. Yeah, -6. So that should parry everything from like jabs to like down forward 2s, generic down forward 2, like I-15. And anything slower, it'll lose to. So parry +4 situation. Parry +4 situation, or knockdown into guaranteed follow-up. Yeah, so that's nice. Now you can kind of go through Yoshi's move list and just figure out moves that leave him in this kind of sweet spot range, and this works mostly if your opponent is button happy. So something like up forward 1 as well. This is -6 on block. You could do it off of like up forward 4, but you can still, since up forward 4 is -9 on block, you can get hit out by jabs and some magic 4s. But everything slower will get parried. Oh, my bad. So it gets beat out. Now if I go for an I-12 mid, I get parried. I-13, same thing. I-15, same thing. I-17, same thing. Yeah? So just play around. Look for certain frame situations that you can do this on. A little tip, something that you can do, is if you know your opponent is gonna attack you off of something like wall Loki and you're tech rolling, when you tech roll, you recover crouching. So what you can do, you can access this kin parry by holding down and pressing 1+2. Yeah? And the reason why this is nice is because sometimes you're at the wall, they hit you, you tech roll, and as you tech roll, you recover crouching. You don't have to like crouch cancel to get the 1+2 stance parry. You can just hit it. If you hold down, pressing 1+2. Also nice to do off of things like down forward 3+4, down forward 3+4, just down forward 3. What is it on block? Yeah, -4. And you're right in their face, and it kind of like can promote them to try and swing on you. And any situation like that. And you can do shit where if you have the timing down really nicely, you can just wait for the attack and just go for it. Anything else about kin parry itself? It's sort of like a less committal flash, kind of. Because even if you miss the kin parry, say like I do like 3-brush 4 and they don't swing, I can do kin 4-2, which is I-12, and it, I mean, in a perfect world you'll get a counter hit, which is a straight up combo in this game. This is an old combo. What's the new one? I think it's a 4-4-3, right? Ooh. I wonder if that works off that. Might be too slow. The recovery might be too slow. Yeah. So instead of that, let's do $66. There we go. That's nice. Matching Julia because the character is great, but I'm regretting because opponent doesn't fucking press start. Oh yeah, when you lose, Namco has to stop making these characters that have these 30-second long outros and intros. All right, so you can do something like kin 4-2, or in season 3 you can do kin back 2, which kin 4-2 is -13 on block. So it can be punished if you use it really close. And it can also randomly be ducked if someone were to try ducking it. And some opponents have some really scary I-13 punishes. But you can also go the kin back 2 route, which is I-15, so it's slower. You have a greater chance of being counter hit out of this. But at the same time, it's mid and it is also safe. -9, which isn't the best, but still, it's something. And if they're really respecting you, you can just kin dash on them, you know, do all the other etc. kin dash shenanigans, or kin stance shenanigans. Alright. I might as well go over the kin options just real quickly. Alright? So, kin options. Kin 4, kin 3, kin 2, kin 2 1+2, kin 4-2, kin back 2, kin back 2-1, Kin 1, and Kin 1-1. Now, the most important options from Kin is the Kin 3 fake out. What are you talking about, Sanguine? So the reason why this is the most important is because it's not only gives you access to the Dragonfly stance, which is kind of our better stance mix-up between Dragonfly 4 and Dragonfly 3+4, and occasionally Dragonfly 3 with really good low. I was on Omegle. So in combos, this is something that you can do a lot. So if I were to do something random, oop. Can mix up, and that tracks, or if they hold back, you hit it with this, right? All that stuff. So, oh yeah, Kim, back 1+2, that's right. So, this fake out is really good, because it gives you access to those kinds of things, and it's a pretty core part of accessing a little bit more of Yoshi's mix-up. And you do want to use this just because of how strong the mix-up potential is from here. Especially if you end up netting Dragonfly 4. You get a real big combo off of this. So, that's nice. So, Kin 1+2 as well. It, on hit, guarantees the back turn down 1. On block, it's a punish mix-up, similar to forward, 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 where your opponent has to guess between either you holding back to recover, you holding down back to recover, or you spinning out. Or even potentially you doing some attack like back turn down 1 or up forward 4. So it's pretty open-ended. And even if this is blocked, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get punished for it. The options of which, by the way, down back beats or evades out the jabs or any highs. So I-10 and all that. If you hold back, that'll block I-13 mids and up. Be forewarned, you can get launched by holding down back if they do something like a down forward 2 that launches crouches. You can avoid all of this with a back 3 or back 4, but they can run up and grab you. Joey Fury did that shit on me. And I-12 hits both. I-12 does hit both. But that can be span out of. Oops. Classic Yoshi shit. And if you have a homing move that's really, really fast, that's nice. And that can catch his back 3, back 4 shenanigans. But you have to make sure it has a decent range, because if it's too small, you notice back 3 or back 4 kind of moves me away. Some can just whiff because of the range. Alright. Kin 3. This is your high risk, medium reward low from Kin. It's 17 damage on its own, but it guarantees full crouch down forward 4, so it's 31 damage low, basically. And this is what ideally is supposed to make them scared of this, but it's reactable, which is the sad thing. It's like I-26 or something crazy like that. Let me skip this song. This is some weird shit. There we go, there we go. So, what was it? Oh yeah, it's Kin 3. It is nice when you get it. There are certain setups that you can do that make Kin 3 safe on block, even though normally it's launch on block, because Kin 3 has a persisting hitbox. So, but the same recovery. So if I hit Kin 3 just at the edge of its hitbox range, instead of being minus 16 or 17 or 18 or something like that, I don't know how high I can get. Let me check. Bum. Guard all. Yeah, minus 16. It can be anywhere from minus 16 to minus 9. Minus 9 is the lowest that I've gotten it. And there are certain combos that you can set up to make Kin 3 safe. The more popular one, or easy one that I know of, is something that I took from Inca, I believe, Aldo, Yoshi player. That makes it not safe, but minus 12 instead. And you can get some cool shit, like people who are gonna do their I-15 or I-16 launcher from full crouch, their wall standing punish. And instead of getting that, they get blocked instead because it's minus 12. That song made me have memories about things that never even happened to me. The little the harmonica sound. Kin 3 is really linear, unfortunately. It has some tracking, I believe, to its left. But it's not a move that you use for tracking. And Kin forward has some realignment as well as some high crush. So if you feel like delaying stuff because you're afraid the opponent's gonna do some movement, you can do Kin forward, and it'll also go under jabs as well. What else? So Kin back 1+2 is nice at the wall. And like randomly, if you feel like messing with people, and you catch them blinking. The reason being, it's a backswing blow. And if they immediately retaliate off of some Kin setups, they can, they'll whiff and they'll get hit. And the range is pretty far, so even if they just keep holding back or try to do back dashes, they'll get caught a lot of the times. But it is extremely linear, so if your opponent's looking out for it and knows how to respond to it, they can just sidestep away from that shit. But on hit, at the wall, it guarantees a CD1. And it is also unblockable. So, player direction, restart. There we go. Oh, don't switch. Yeah? And the reason why that's nice at the wall is because that sets you up for the floor open. Or, yeah? And you can go wild from there. And you notice how far away this can hit. Yeah? It's not the farthest thing, but still. It's better than like, it's not like super snubbed out. So it's around like range 1.5 almost that it can still hit. But it is extremely linear. Ooh. And it's not something you want to do at an angle near the wall, because there's a lot of the times where like I'll do it here and it like will push, the wall will like push them away somehow. It's like a real, like it can be a real finicky move at like at weird wall angles. But yeah, it is very linear. I wonder if it catches side steps. It does. Not to the right though. So, that's that. Kin Forward 2 is nice. It has a lot of range. And is a counter hit launcher. And has a lot of pushback. It's a pretty chunky hit. So let's see, how far? 1, 2, it should be like 2.5. 3 should be just outside. Oh my gosh, never mind. 1, 2, 3. I mean, he does move forward a little bit during the kin parry animation. 1, 2, 3, a little bit more, so 3.5. Yeah, 3.5 at least it misses. Now, if you notice the pushback action going on here, it may be minus 13, but as long as, and it's pretty easy to do so, as long as you don't hit them straight in their face, you're good. Yeah, and it's pretty much safe. And the reason why this is nice sometimes in the neutral is because it's difficult to step it. The kin forward providing a lot of realignment. Although it still can be stepped, and obviously it can be ducked because it's a high. I only really use it occasionally to spice up neutral, to make sure that my opponent doesn't swing on me when I'm moving in. But I'm not really aiming for specific scenarios. It's just a move, a hitbox to throw out. The new move, kin back 2-1, mostly for combo filler or a safe way to get out of kin. You can get a really big, chunky combo off this though. Man, I knew I shouldn't have gone over kin options, dude. This shit'll take me forever. That's max damage as far as I know. So it's 64 plus 20 or 25 or maybe 17, depending on how they recover. But if you time that correctly, it's all guaranteed. What else? Kin 2, this is kind of not really used that much because it's replaced by kin back 2-1 because it's more damage and you have better combo options off of that. But something that can be done that is nice is that you can sometimes psych your opponent out due to kin 2, the second hit of kin 2 1+2 wall splats. Go through all this trouble to show this shit. I don't know if you can get some follow-up after that. Yeah, you should be able to get some follow-up after that. Do your thing, Rian. Kin 2 is a legacy move, used to be his bound. Yeah, in Tag 2, I know that. But you know, power creep in Tekken 7, that move isn't really too useful in this game anymore. Especially since it's not only you get less damage off of a combo from kin 2 than kin back 2-1, but it's also 21 startup. It does kind of have better range though. But not enough reason for me to use kin 2 over kin back 2-1. You can also charge this to make kin 1+2 safe on block, or kin 2 1+2 safe on block. Now, kin 4, it's literally just sidestep 4. It's the same move, and you can loop this with more kin transitions. And kin transitions from sidestep 4 or kin 4 are plus on block. So sometimes you'll see Yoshimitsu's, and I'm pretty sure iMusician did this at Rev Major. They'll do like a bunch of these in a row. And when they think the opponent's gonna press a button, they'll hit like kin 1+2 or kin 4-2. Or they'll try to, typically they'll do kin 1+2 because they might try to duck it instead of mashing. And kin 1+2 covers mashing and ducking, so. What else? What else? What else? Kin 4. Kin 1/1 is useless. I don't really use this move at all unless you like. It's minus on hit. It's not a natural combo on at all. It doesn't even do that much damage. The first hit is punishable on block, but like no one ever punishes it like that anyway. Come on, I gotta kill something real quick. What else? And there's just not much reason to use. Like, it's not even plus on hit if you were to land the first hit. And I believe it only combos into itself on counter hit. Yeah. In which case it's +7, which is nice. But that's very rarely the case. And it's a I-17 startup. So if you're gonna get a counter hit, you might as well do Kin 4 too. Or Kin 1+2. It just looks dope, yeah. What else? What else? Kin back 1+2, Kin fake out, Kin 3, Kin 4, Kin back 2/1, Kin 1, Kin 1+2. And that about does it. That about does it for Kin. Unless I missed something. Oh yeah. Kin forward high crush. So occasionally you can do something like that. I guess the best way to show it is from 4-4-3. So if you notice this, play. My jab gets crushed because that little duck animation gives him a little high crush. And that's you can do that to spice up certain kin mix-ups from moves like 4-4-3 or sidestep 4 kin transitions, or 2-2 kin 1+2, kin 1+2, 2-2 kin transition. So you can do it from here, and from here. Once again, not really worth it. Too worth it in my opinion, just because the reward isn't that big. But now in season 3, I guess you could get this. I wonder if you recover fast enough. Let's try. Yep, you do. Or you don't, rather. So it's a straight up punish. I'm holding back. So that could be a nice call out. A nice call out. Bum. I think that's it. I believe that to be it. Alright. We'll cut it there. And